What makes a system musical? That's a really good question, and it comes from Doug in Colorado Springs, about 90 minutes south of Boulder. Paul, I hear a lot from you, and I bet you do. I'm sorry, I do a lot of these videos, so everybody's hearing a lot from me, whether they like it or not. Okay, and others about critical musical enjoyment terms, including the resolving power of a system, system dynamics, and so on. But if you were to define what makes a system musical, how would you do that? Again, an excellent question. And we use terms a lot that generalize the feelings, that generalize the goals we have within a particular system. I mean, think of, I'll just go back to food, savory, umami, we salty, sweet. You know, we talk about these terms and referring to things, or photography, you know, wow, what a great panorama, what a great, you know, lush garden scene. Because it evokes a picture in our mind of what we're actually referring to when we use words. And as an author, as somebody who does a lot of writing, like my daily posts. For those of you that don't know, if you want Paul's Post, just go to our website, sign up. If you weren't sick of me enough already, you can read my daily writings on the same subjects. Although sometimes, you know, these videos focus more on specific questions, and they do ramble off into stories at times. And I have several I was just thinking of. Anyway, we'll do more of that. But I also write about stuff every single day, and I've done it for 7 years without missing a day, and it's called Paul's Post. So I would encourage you to sign up. It's free. We never advertise on it. It's the same sort of thing. It's just here to help build community, which is what we like to do, because we figure the larger our community, the more people get interested in audio. Maybe some of you might think about us when you're buying something. Great. If not, hey, we've made the world a more knowledgeable place, and we've tried to make it accessible, friendly, and non-threatening. And that's, I've spent most of my life trying to do stuff like that. But okay, how do we get off onto this? Musical terms. We're trying to define things so that people can have a common means of communicating between each other. So the simplest answer is, does it sound like real music? Now that's pretty tough, because if you look at the wide breadth of recordings, you have everything from giant symphonic pieces to small chamber orchestras to Ted Nugent scratching the cat's back, you know, and everything in between, wild synthesizer riffs, and I mean, and we all call it music. But how do you say if a synthesizer riff is musical? That's pretty hard, because even if you heard it live, let's say that it wasn't through a system. Here I am, I'm playing my synth, you know, whipping on the dials, everything's going. Is that musical? It certainly would be real, because I'm right here doing it and you're hearing it. And if we reproduced it and it sounded identical, then we have achieved the goal, the ultimate goal of what we always want to do when we are talking about reproduced music and reproducing it in the homes. Doesn't necessarily mean it's musical. So when it comes to the term musical, I like to narrow it down a little bit and talk about the sound of live, unamplified music in an acoustic space. That's how I define whether something is musical or not. I heard a great Willie Nelson piece. It was in my car, and I use Slacker, my car provides Slacker download service, and it's MP3. I mean, it's not high res at all. But here was Willie, and I don't remember the song. I really like Willie Nelson, some of his stuff. And this one was just Willie on the microphone playing a guitar that was just an acoustic guitar, very well recorded. They threw some strings and some crap in on it to romanticize it, but you know, they could have done without all that. It was just Willie and this guitar, and it was one of the more musical things I've ever heard, because it sounded like Willie was there with me in the car, just singing, had his eyes closed. The guy's got a lot of soul. And when he was picking his guitar, I could hear the strings vibrating in the aftermath of their vibration through there, just as I would if Willie was sitting here playing to you right now. That's musical, for sure. And if I listen to the great recordings that Cookie Marenko at Blue Coast Records has done and has helped on, like on the San Francisco Symphony. There's some of my favorite music is Mahler. I just love the power and the majesty of Gustav Mahler's music. And the San Francisco Symphony has a terrific set of recordings. Michael Tilson Thomas is the conductor. And it's recorded properly without the use of a whole bunch of microphones. I'm guessing. I mean, I really don't know. But I can tell you, listening to that, it's as if you were there. And it is as musical as it can be. Then I listen to music that is highly compressed or squished down into a ball of gelatinous mush. And while there are musical instruments and voices in there, it doesn't sound musical. It doesn't sound like what I would expect that musical instrument or the human voice to sound like. And I classify those as amusical. So, you know, it's just the way we communicate, and it's all a matter of opinion, but there you have mine. I appreciate the question. It was a really good one. Thanks. And if you're in Colorado Springs, dude, why haven't you come visit us? Come on, this is the new space. Here we are. Come on down. We'll show you a good time.